Before your shift, at the beginning of your shift or at the beginning of the day, you have to inspect the Aeroworks waste collector to make sure it was cleaned out the shift prior or the night before. Before performing any service or maintenance or removing the baskets on these equipment, we want to make sure that the main disconnect switch is completely in the off position. And for further protection, you can pull out the lockout tab and engage a padlock in here. So you want to make sure before you start your shift, the entire system is clean. You can see here, food was left in the basket. So we take out the baskets and wash them in the 3-compartment sink. The bottom basket as well. We clean the baskets, and we also want to make sure the tank is completely drained. To drain the tank, you can see there is water in the tank. We remove the drain pipe to allow the tank to drain. Once the tank is drained, we want to spray down the tank to remove any further food debris. There's a few things in this tank that you need to know about. At the back, the black round disc is the float level switch. In the front here, this grill is the intake for the recirculation line. We want to make sure those areas are nice and clean. So we want to bring the baskets to the trash can full of food, dump them, and then give them a good rinse before we put them back. We want to make sure that the trough is completely free of any food debris. So we give it a good wash with the wash down hose. Now that our pre-startup cleanup is done, we have to reassemble everything so we can start using the system. The most important is this drain pipe. We have to make sure that it is completely engaged and locked. Otherwise, the water will keep draining out and will not recirculate. The larger basket, this basket will always go in 12, the rod will always be 12 to 6. Then the 2 smaller baskets, and their rod will always be 3 to 9, sideways. And the baskets are all designed to fit only one way, so please do not try to force the baskets in. Just turn it to make sure it fits snugly on its own. Now that our pre-startup cleanup is done, it's time to start up the unit. And to do that, we have to turn on the main disconnect switch to the complete on position and press the start button. Once we press the start button, the reservoir tank is filling up with the water that it needs to recirculate. While it's filling up, the system will not run. And we'll see that with this green light. While blinking, it's going through its fill up mode. So we have to wait. So those key features of the Aeroworks waste collector: a more powerful motor, a much deeper slope, and a much wider opening at the mouth of the collector allows for more greater flow of food soil into the collector, and it allows us to accomplish much longer troughs. So here's a typical plate. You can see the force of the gushers allows the food soil to travel down. All Airworks troughs come with a magnet mounted to the bottom of the trough to catch cutlery. Now the only thing we have to look out for is to make sure the cutlery is magnetic. The dual basket design, what you can also do is, as you can see, most of the food is cascading into the first basket. So you can quickly do a basket swap. You'll obviously stop the unit, lift it up, pull the more fuller basket to the side. You don't have the time to empty it, and now you have a fresh basket. An Airworks exclusive is the two-tier basket design. So I'll explain what the function is there. You can see the upper baskets are two smaller baskets that can be swapped back and forth as they fill up. And they have a much larger hole, so their job is to collect more so the bigger food particles. Now, once we remove these baskets, you will see the lower second tier basket collecting, again, more solids, but some of the smaller solids that got away from the upper basket. And what just the gray water continues on to the pump impeller to be recirculated. Now that I've processed all my dishware and my food soil, it's time to walk you through the shutdown and cleanup procedure. So what we want to do is grab our trash can, make our way to the waste collector. And here we're going to have to stop and engage the main disconnect. So all we got to do is press the stop button to stop the motor and the flow of water and engage the main disconnect so it doesn't accidentally start. The trough is going to be empty, and you're going to notice that the magnet captured some cutlery. So we want to remove this cutlery and wash it. Before you empty out the waste collector, you shut it down, but you may notice that there's still food soil in the trough. What we want to do is take the big heavy-duty hose gun and spray off all the food soil into the waste collector. Give the gusher heads a good spray down. Now we're going to tend to the baskets in the waste collector. What we want to do, whether you take them to a trash can or bring one nearby, we empty all our baskets, all the food soil, into our trash cans before we take them over to be washed. Once we've done that, we can also disengage the overflow pipe to start draining the tank. So the first thing, guys, I recommend you all do is take our 3 baskets, an overflow pipe to a sink or wherever you like to wash them, and completely wash them. You can also, if you want to, run these through the dish machine. So we bring our heavy duty washdown hose. We can see some soil buildup in the tank. The overflow pipe has been removed, and now we can just wash it out, paying attention to the sensor and the intake section. Give it a good spray. So we've rinsed down the trough, we've rinsed down the inside of the waste collector, drained it, taken our pipe, our baskets over to the dish machine and given them a good wash. Now we're ready to reassemble everything. The first thing we want to put back is the main drain pipe after it's been cleaned. We want to put it in, jiggle it around a little bit to make sure it sits nice and tight and snug. The second thing that goes in is the larger scrap basket with the smaller holes. And on top of that, the 2 smaller scrap baskets. So now you can see our waste collector is completely clean. Our trough is completely clean. We're leaving a clean system for the shift and the team that is going to come and work after us.